So let's talk about a mystery. I mean, a really deep one. It's about a fundamental rule that every single living thing on this planet follows, no exceptions. It's a rule written into our very molecules, a kind of hidden signature that shapes everything from our DNA to the medicine we use. It's a puzzle about a choice that life made billions of years ago.
Here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at what's called life's broken mirror. Then we'll see how scientists are hunting for clues to explain it. After that, we're going to pivot to a pretty radical idea from our sources, a kind of divine explanation. We'll even see how that connects to consciousness, and finally, we'll land on the ultimate question this whole paradox leaves us with.
All right, let's jump right in. To really get what this is all about, we have to start with a weird little property of molecules called chirality.
Okay. Chirality sounds super technical, but it's really just a fancy word for handedness. The easiest way to think about it is to just look at your own hands. Go on, hold them up. They're mirror images of each other, right? They've got all the same parts, but no matter how you flip them or turn them, you can never get them to line up perfectly. A left hand is always a left hand. Well, a whole bunch of molecules in nature are exactly like that.
Now, here's why this matters. This molecular handedness isn't just some quirky fact. It can literally be the difference between a cure and a poison. Take L-DOPA. It's an incredible drug for people with Parkinson's, but its mirror image, D-DOPA, not only does it do nothing to help, it's actually harmful. It's the same exact atoms, put together in the same way, just mirrored. And there's a really tragic real-world example of this, the thalidomide disaster back in the 50s. The drug was sold as a 50-50 mix of its left and right-handed forms. One of those forms was a perfectly good treatment for morning sickness. But its mirror image caused horrific birth defects. This was a brutal lesson for the world on just how high the stakes are when it comes to molecular handedness. And this right here brings us to the core of the paradox. See, when chemists make these molecules in a lab, they almost always end up with a perfect 50-50 split of the left and right-handed versions. It's symmetrical. It makes sense. But life? Life does something completely different. It exclusively, stubbornly, picks one hand for the job and ignores the other completely. It's a property called homochirality. So you have to ask, why? Out of a perfectly balanced 50-50 choice, why did biology decide to break the mirror and go all in on one side? This isn't a small question. It's one of the biggest unanswered mysteries about how life even got started. So what do the scientists say? How are they trying to tackle this massive chicken and egg problem? I mean, what came first, life itself or its weird one-handed preference? Well, the reason life needs to be one-handed is because biology works like a giant, incredibly complex set of locks and keys. The shape of everything matters. Proteins, enzymes, they all have to fit together perfectly. A molecule with the wrong-handedness is like trying to shove your right foot into a left shoe. It just doesn't work. If you had a mix of both, the whole system would just grind to a halt. And when I say life picks a side, I mean it's an absolute ironclad rule. Every single amino acid that builds proteins in you, in a tree, in a bacterium, they are all left-handed. Every sugar, like the ones forming the backbone of your DNA, all right-handed. And DNA itself, that iconic double helix, always twists to the right. No exceptions have ever been found. So, where did this preference come from? Scientists have some pretty cool ideas. Maybe it was just a cosmic coin flip. The very first self-replicating molecule happened to be, let's say, left-handed, and it just got a head start and took over the whole planet. Or maybe the answer came from space. We found meteorites that have a slight excess of left-handed amino acids on them. Another idea is that magnetic minerals on the floors of ancient lakes could have acted like a filter, encouraging only one type of molecule to crystallize and build up. Okay, so we've looked at the scientific side of things, but our sources also present a totally different way of looking at this problem. It's an idea that steps away from chemistry and recasts this whole mystery not as a random accident, but as something deliberate, something theological. This quote from the source material really gets to the heart of this alternate perspective. The idea here isn't to figure out how it happened physically, but to ask why, to see it as a message, a signature literally woven into the fabric of life itself. This specific theory puts forward a theological answer to that big why question. It suggests that when God formed Adam from the dust of the earth, as the story goes, that creative act itself is what broke the symmetry. It was a foundational choice that imprinted life's building blocks with their specific handedness from the very beginning.
And this framework doesn't just stop with molecules. It makes another huge leap, connecting this ancient chemical signature all the way to the origin of human consciousness, to that little voice inside your head.
So the narrative goes something like this. That same divine blueprint that set life's handedness also set the stage for our minds. The theory proposes that the forbidden fruit wasn't an apple, but a psychedelic catalyst, like magic mushrooms, that interacted with our unique one-handed biology. This unlocked a new kind of awareness and kickstarted the divinely planned evolution of the thinking mind. So here we are. This one single fundamental property of life, its molecular handedness, leaves us standing at a massive crossroads with two profoundly different ways of seeing ourselves and our place in the universe. It really boils down to two grand narratives. On one side, you have a story of a cosmic accident, a random quirk of physics, a lucky break that life grabbed onto and never let go of. And on the other side, you have a story of divine intention. The idea that this broken symmetry isn't an accident at all, but is in fact the foundational signature of a creator. In the end, this chirality paradox isn't just about chemistry. It pushes us right up against one of the biggest questions we can possibly ask. Is this feature that defines all life, this broken mirror at our core, the result of a random roll of the cosmic dice? Or is it the unmistakable fingerprint of a designer? The answer, it seems, depends entirely on which mirror you choose to look into.